Will, I'm now making you the presenter, and you're going to have the ability to share your screen and drop-down menu to do that. Got it. You're up and waiting to hear your voice. Welcome to F.A.C.E.
Oh, hello. Good to be here, Dale. So you can hear me all right?
Yeah, great to meet you. Thanks so much for being here. I have to start off with the handle, okay? Why Wild West Trades, Will?
Well, because I primarily trade the cryptocurrency markets right now, and I
Okay.
believe digital
That's Wild
currency
West.
is a gateway into, new horizons in technology.
Okay, so mainly a crypto trader, so that's cool. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey, and was it your interest in crypto that brought you into the trading arena? What were you doing prior?
Okay.
Did you have any mentors that helped you along the way?
Well, I first got into crypto from poker, right? And a lot of people compare poker to being like investing, but you just get your results, a lot faster. So I was a poker player.
Yeah.
And I would use, my poker to invest. So I would have like a mock stock portfolio when I was, real young. I just was really passionate about markets. And it
Cool.
wasn't until crypto that I started to, start intraday trading, day trading a bit more on shorter time frames.
How old were you when you were reaping, pulling chips off the table and investing them in the market? How old were you?
Well, I started playing poker at 16, but didn't really get profitable until 18.
Okay. So even
And I started
becoming, and that brings up a great point, Will, that to become good at any skill took you a few years to get good at being able to make money in a poker game. How many years? Most of the answers I get for people is it takes them about 4 years to really make breakthroughs and become consistent and have confidence in their trading that it can work for them. Do you find it to be true as well for you?
For trading on shorter time frames, yes. Like for investing, if you take a top-down approach, like waiting with a few months, I think anything over 3 months is more of a positional investing, and 3 months or lower is swing trading.
Okay.
So once you get to that point, like I think it does take time to learn and grow your skill. Like this is it's like any other profession. It takes serious work.
Yeah, you can't be lazy. If you're lazy, you're going to pay the market. That's what I tell my mentees. So
some people usually pay tuition up front too before they end up.
Right, and hopefully it's not an Ivy League tuition. Hopefully it's just a community college one. So, where did you get your training in technical trading, and do you have any influences? Or I see, you trade naked here, pretty much just candles on the chart. So
I do use some technicals to help confirm my bias. Like there's some hidden under here that I use.
I see. Okay, I know you crypto guys like to hide things.
So I use price action as a framework, right? But I get into a few technicals as well, and stuff like mean reversion and correlations for Forex markets.
Oh, interesting. So you trade Forex as well?
Yes, I trade all markets. So when I was 18, I always thought of saying, okay, so trading or investing is just about an idea, a way to allocate risk to any market to capture volatility over a certain period of time. So if there's an idea, I just, allocate risk to it and let it play out depending on the time frame. And I treat trading crypto and Forex in a very similar way.
My belief is a chart is a chart is a chart. The only thing that's different is the title, the beta, and leverage you use.
Exactly. I mean, that's a really good point.
Okay,
all markets act like markets.
Yeah, so tell us what you're seeing here in Bitcoin. I started to like it when a lot of crypto guys started to say, they were moving over to FX trading. I had a few guys on, and that was right around the bottom. So to me, it looks like we have a bottom in crypto, at least for a pretty good bear market rally, and it's underway. To me, the strongest chart, and I'll call Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin the majors, kind of like Euro USD, cable, yen, the majors in FX.
Yeah, the big boys.
And Litecoin actually is a leader on this, and I'm wondering.
It was.
Yeah. So I'm wondering why. Why Litecoin over the others? I mean, the chart is what told me, but fundamentally, was there any reason why people are gravitating towards Litecoin and for its outperformance over Bitcoin?
Well, if you had to give me, let's see. Litecoin was like the follower of Bitcoin, right? So number two.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think they go together. It has like a early mover advantage, and then you have Charlie Lee, a main figure in the space, mentioning it, talking about it, promoting it,
Okay.
even
All right.
buying maybe some of his coins back, right? So that
Okay.
could be an indication. However, it's
All
hard
right.
to
So
say
you have to.
exactly.
So even in crypto, you have to pay attention to insiders like stock traders, right? Because
Well, information is key, and that's how I.
insiders, yeah, like and what the insiders are doing. I just had a guest on yesterday who makes their trade picks based upon what happens in dark pools. Is there, since it's a wild west in crypto, is there any way for you to see big block trades made by smart money, or is it all, really behind the veil still?
Well, with the blockchain, you can see some of these wallet addresses. You can see coins being shifted around this whole blockchain space. So that's one new aspect that you can use to help generate where, certain big movers, big market movers can be moving their funds to. And that's one way to, track and look at different types of orders being shifted around these exchanges. Because it is, like you said, the Wild West still.
Okay, so are there which exchange, because none of them are really the brokers regulated. Are there any exchanges that you feel comfortable enough keeping a decent balance with?
I'd say Binance is one, but in this Wild West, it's best to go on multiple exchanges to reduce counterparty risk. That's how I treat it, allocating a certain capital to, different exchanges for margin or for just, these altcoins flipping.
Okay. All right. So, and as far as crypto is concerned, do you have the same type of mentality that, say, hard money people do about gold? Like they say, don't wait to buy gold and wait, even though there are more opportunistic levels to do both. Do you believe in a core holding of these cryptos, not to be traded and to be held long term for this revolution you believe in?
I do believe in there's a few coins like that have some potential in the long run, but
Uh-huh.
I don't I like to trade both, right? So I think earthly metals in general is pretty is going to have a bullish year, probably by like Q3, Q4.
See, I've never even heard of it. So, how do you keep up and screen through how many, are there thousands of these things? Because it sounds like it really is time consuming to be able to filter through all these different coins. Because, I mean, that's not the majors. So, what makes you believe in that? Is it because is it possibly based on metals in the ground? Is that why it's called that?
For
Earth
which
metals?
for altcoins or for the cryptos?
The last coin you mentioned that you're bullish in the third quarter. What's the name of it again?
Oh, Komodo and ARN, ARN. I actually have a forecast on Bitcoin that I made here and
Oh,
ARN.
okay.
Let me find it real quick.
Okay. And
So
what's ARN stand for? I thought you said
it's
metals or something.
it's Aeron.
Okay. Aaron.
So it's an aviation company, right? So these things can make an impact in these industries, and I've been projecting this is a liquid market, right? There's 10,000 Bitcoin traded daily on markets like this. So I just look for ones with high liquidity that I think have potential and value over, let's say 3 months, and then I
Okay.
pick those up.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice
So
looking
it's
chart.
similar to stocks in a way, but a lot more volatile, a lot more speculative. Like this thing, wicks up and down in its range just over and over again.
Okay. So
So
what's dollar? What do you think dollar volume daily is for this particular issue?
10,000 Bitcoin times what is it now? 4,000. So it's
Half a
quite a
million?
lot. Yeah, at least it's like a
5
normal
million?
stock, like a
Huh.
couple. Yeah, so a couple million, and then it gets increased rapidly depending on these pumps.
What about spreads? You have
It's
to
on
go in at a
Binance.
price?
There is a market fee, but They just
Okay.
have it in Satoshi. So the books are actually pretty thick with the new volume coming in after it broke up from this range. So
Okay. Um, all right. So you go through all of these things. What do you do? What's your business model? I believe I had the name of your company that it's Frontier Research Group. So are you in the business of selling your research? Do you manage money? Do you teach people how to trade? What's the model for you guys there at Wild West, Will?
yeah, so I share my ideas. I do manage some money on the side, mostly private right now. A few clients, a few friends and family mostly right now. And
Okay.
I trade all markets, so I allocate a percent to crypto, to forex, and traditional and stocks. And
Hmm.
I mostly generate portfolios in each. So, say for example, forex. I have usually my style is like 8 to 10 long short positions over a period of time. For example, the Euro USD. I've been
Yes.
short since let's say about May 2018, holding a short, opening and closing a short. And I've been
So,
riding that based off the emerging markets, taking
right.
a total nosedive in April. The euro
Okay.
exposure there is heavy. So I'm mostly fundamental global macro and
Okay.
some trades as a hedge on the side if the volatility is there.
Great hold. So I want to ask you about that because that's
Yeah,
difficult for a lot of people. You know how people say great call, great trade. You know what the toughest thing is, at least for me, is a great hold
absolutely.
because of the temptation to book it, and you have this false confidence that, oh, I'll always be able to get back in because I see something on the hourly that'll give me a better entry, and you turn your head and then the windfall happens without you. So how do you do it? Do you take partial profits and then only manage a trade from, say, a very long time frame? Don't look at an intraday chart and manage a trade from a daily to stay long
Yes,
term?
I do mostly
Uh,
from the daily, an entry
okay.
on the 4 hour. And
Oh, okay.
so I used what I did when I was younger with stocks. I applied to Forex. I look for, interest rates, what values the money. So I just look for longer term plays, mostly weeks to months, and anything
Okay.
that lasts a few days. That's mostly how I trade Forex.
Okay. Do you do anything with the metals? You a believer in gold as a currency? Because I believe the BIS is going to officially say gold is money. Basel 3. What's your view on gold? Any?
I'm bullish on it for the year. I believe it uptrends. It has more room to grow. Looking at that 1350 pivotal area, seeing if it can break through it. Um,
See. You're very good, Will. I could bring up everything, and you have the key technical area in your head. Really
I
glad
do
I
trade a
reached
lot of
out.
markets. Yeah.
Yeah, really
You can
glad
ask
I.
anything. We can go through it.
How long have you been doing it?
Um, More advanced, like active trading, would be about 2 years, but about 2 years
Okay.
of investing prior. So I say about 3 or 4.
Okay. What's your upside target for Bitcoin? Stay
Bitcoin?
within
Well,
the next
so
six
here
months.
I have this forecast I made in
Okay.
February. So
Okay.
this is all my levels and how it reacted. I'm going to click play
Yeah,
here.
that's where I was buying it, a higher low, 78.6 back. Do you use
So
fibs?
I do to an extent, but I mostly
Okay.
like to draw my levels manually just to make sure I don't get lazy. But
Okay.
I do use a certain way of, I guess I use fibs to an extent, but
Okay.
I
How do
mostly
you
draw.
come up with your supply demand zones then, if that's like a major thing for you? Just key lows and highs and kind of visualize where markets either performed to the upside or broke down? Just is it by feel? Because I know some people teach, supply demand, and it's really support resistance, and it's something that people have different ideas on. What's your idea for drawing in these support and resistance levels? Key
Well,
swing highs and lows.
it's a factor. It's a compound factor of a lot of variables, but mostly swing highs, lows, support resistance, and then it's all about managing it as it moves through it. So when you have it come up to the first level here, normal
Hmm.
resistance that flips into it. It's about how
Right.
you manage it. Do you take profit here? Do you get back in? Do you hold it for the next upside? Do you
Hmm.
short here? Like it's all about managing the trade from where you enter. So
Right.
I do have this next extension coming up, which I anticipate. I drew way back when, which would take us to the top of that range and maybe even higher with a little bit of timely news that pops up out of nowhere that we've been waiting for the last year. So right now we're
Well,
at resistance. So it's up to me to figure out, like, say, it's been testing it 1, 2, 3, 4, almost like the sixth time, making higher
yeah,
local high, higher
yeah,
low. Does it
yeah.
burst through? Do we test 4150 and then retrace and then pop up? I think so. I think 4355. So that's what
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
watching now
I've
as
heard
we
a
go.
lot of
Yeah.
4,400 targets on this to
Hmm.
complete this first wave. I've also seen some targets much, much higher. So it's nice to see people, at least some daylight and some volatility coming back into the crypto space. And just from talking to you for a little bit, I know I could learn a lot about crypto from you. So if you'd like, you have any other charts you want to share?
Absolutely, sure.
Okay.
So EOS today had a really nice pop up to the upside. So
Okay.
so this is another, I mean, it can be considered as part of like the Ethereum Litecoin. It's another blue chip, but not quite as commonly talked about as Litecoin or ETH.
Okay.
And they
Nice.
raised a lot of money, like 4 billion in their ICO. So they have a lot of capital here to, solve their problems, which is why I believe it has a little bit more upside. So this
Uh-huh.
next leg that we're in now, Bitcoin tracing over 4K,
Yeah.
EOS popping up. We also have, pull up the Litecoin chart too.
So is a lot of these coins, could I compare them since you have a stock background from earlier to things like pink sheet and bulletin board issues where really it's not about, PEs or anything. It's about marketing and it's about dog and pony shows and raising public awareness and raising money to support the stock or the issue. Would you make that comparison?
Yes, you can. It's very similar. The only thing is this is very speculative. So most of the stuff that you learn in stocks, looking at all the numbers, you have to anticipate in your head. And that's what makes it, a
Okay.
lot trickier. And a lot of
Yeah,
people
like
say, "Oh, I don't care about fundamentals. I just trade the chart because this goes up and down a bunch because it's very speculative." But if you can
okay.
connect the dots together and you find something that you can hold for a while and you know that you have an advantage knowing something's undervalued, that's how you get the true, what everyone comes to crypto for in the first place, the 25, 50x type coins.
Yeah,
And that,
and you're seeing them happen a lot recently since the Bitcoin bottom. You're starting to
oh yeah,
see.
like I'll pull up one now.
Go ahead. Go
This
ahead.
this one I missed though, but I caught a
Can't
few others.
can't
Something like
catch them all,
AMJ.
buddy. You're
Yeah,
human.
I know. That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So something like
Wow.
this with Let's Liquid goes up 550%. It's a gaming company going with that esports type trend, right?
Hmm.
So stuff like this, it's very similar to stocks, but it just goes
Wow.
wild. It just continues, and it's probably going to hold this level here, waiting to see if it does.
Okay, if someone wanted to do what you do on their own, how would you direct them to be able to find these things, and where should they be hanging out so that at least they, because I believe in intelligence gathering, and
Me
just
too.
from talking to you, I think that I believe in communities and masterminding, minding, and people helping each other. So, where would someone go that would be like a neophyte like me to have my eyes pointed in the right direction to start looking at some of these things that you're talking about?
Well, as in like a general approach, or just
Yeah, general. I right now I'm going to give you an endorsement because I can tell from just talking to you that, and I've had other crypto traders on before that uh, you have a real nice demeanor approach, and I could tell you live and drink it.
I
So
do. I love this stuff. I really do.
yeah, I could tell it comes across well, definitely. So, why don't we take this time now? I really appreciate you sharing some of these issues. I get information overload where I'm focused on servicing an FX community and mentoring people, and I have a hard time doing more than a couple instruments at a time. But someone who has the capability of doing like what you do, like you construct portfolios. What's your philosophy on leverage when you're doing things like that? Less leverage?
Usually less leverage, yeah, like 3 to 8 at minimum. So I have different risk allocations based on the play. So like if you have a system that's, triggering along, right? You have or if they're finding a trend, right? Trending markets are rare as they are these days, but we've been seeing a lot more of them in 2018 and early this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, with trends, you want to increase leverage, increase, the opposite of what you're normally told. With trends, you want to increase your exposure to markets. However, with like normal intraday setups, you want to lower the leverage and just risk what you're comfortable.
Right.
So
Okay.
leverage is increased for trends, mostly with like a trend-based system.
What will you max out at if you have a trend you have conviction about?
So if you have like a normal balance, so the whole portfolio, let's say you allocate a certain amount of your capital to a portfolio that you trade, legacy markets or Forex with, I say about, you start in gaps, 3% as the minimum per risk, and then you increase it to say like even 9%, but very rare to have that much exposure,
Okay.
usually about 6% of the total portfolio per
Okay.
trade.
So, Will, why don't you show your website? So, besides your Twitter handle, people know how to reach you.
Yeah, sure.
Why don't you tell us what what you do there?
So the Frontier.group, we share ideas. We have access to the indicators like these: momentum, RSI, custom volume.
Okay, what
Just
is
tools
that
that help.
charting service? What is it?
Paragon tools. If you want to go visit them on TradingView, there's a
Oh,
link there as
oh,
well.
all right.
That's tools for traders.
Okay.
I like it a lot for checking my bias in certain price action concepts, right?
Okay.
So yeah, Frontier, you can message me there or and check out some of the tools at TradingView.
Okay. And you have a trading room, chat room? Do you have
Yeah,
webinars?
so there's a live chat. We go over ideas, share some different analysis on different markets, legacy, or I guess I call it legacy because I come from crypto, but traditional, like Forex or stocks.
Yeah, you've been brainwashed, buddy. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
yeah.
anyway, I encourage people that have an interest in this. I can talk to someone for about 20 minutes and see if they, have a handle on what's going on. So you could follow Will at Wild West Trades, which is a crypto world. It's a Wild West. You know what, Will? I remember when FX was a Wild West before
Oh yeah.
it was just a cash market before the regulators came in, and there were all kinds of spreads and markups,
Wow,
and
that's wild.
yeah, it was unregulated. So you're living what FX traders lived maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago before it became regulated. So
That's awesome.
enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like it or not, you're now a new trading warrior brother of mine. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to edify our community and share things with me that I had no idea existed. And also tells me that there are so many opportunities that I wish I could clone myself and have
Oh,
10 of
there
me
are.
to look at.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think this next decade is like the golden opportunity for trading in general. Like there's just so much opportunity just coming like every day.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And we could count on central banks to try and keep the party going as long as they can, can't we?
Oh yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
all right, buddy.
And
Well,
maybe things start trending in the future too, and we can take advantage of that because
yeah, instead of just ranging or sideways like the euro's been for about I don't know how long now.
oh yeah,
So
that thing's yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that's gonna be fun. I think it goes to 108 and lower maybe.
yeah, interesting. That's around targets I have. Actually, I think it'll fill the gap, the Macron gap at 105.80. That's where it took off
Hmm.
to 125 or so.
And
So
everything fits in the macro too.
yeah, really a pleasure talking to you, man. Keep in touch and glad that our paths cross on Twitter, Will, and that you're
Yeah, me
gracious
too. It's just
gracious enough to accept the invitation from some guy you didn't know.
yeah, no problem. I love talking markets, so this was enjoyable for me. I appreciate it.
All right,
Love being
buddy.
on here.
Well, good hunting, and may pips, I don't know if they call them pips in the crypto world, rain down upon you and everyone you work with. Okay, buddy?
Thank you, and you as well.
Thank you, man. All right, so that's a wrap, guys. See everyone for Thursday. Actually, I have another crypto guy. We're going to have Don is going to be here. He had audio troubles last time, so come back tomorrow, and hope everyone had a great session. That's a wrap. Most of all, everyone, really remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See everyone tomorrow. Thanks again, Will.
Yes, thank you. Have a good one.